Christianity was just doing some of those things. And then you just go to this place called the church. I had no idea that this whole movement was started with fire. I had no idea that this whole thing was started with miracles. I had no idea that God wanted to do something supernatural, and that he actually did. He wanted to give the church power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. He said in verse 8 of chapter 1, but you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. You'll be my witnesses in Jerusalem and all Judea and all Samaria and to the ends of the earth. God was not going to leave them without a witness of his son's life, death, and resurrection. And he certainly wasn't going to leave it to a group of people who didn't have any power. He wanted to empower them to be his witnesses, to live for him. He gave them supernatural power to carry out the ministry he had trained them for. We thank God that we have Luke to remind us of these things, how things started, how the church had to have power, how to live and to proclaim Christ, that they had to have this. They had to have God to do it this way. The questions that we might face in some of these chapters: is there an aspect of the divine power that was here? Was it supposed to dim and fade? Was the way the church started, was there supposed to be a natural progression that this kind of power in life was supposed to fade? And then into that would come. Was there in the heart of God somehow that the church wasn't going to continue to operate with the power of the Holy Spirit? Did God somehow, without writing it down, say that somehow this was going to end? And if he didn't, then why so often do we act as if he did? Why do we look at these chapters? Why do we look at the book of Acts and think to ourselves, boy, I wish I lived in those days. Oh, wishful thinking. I wish this happened in our day. Why doesn't it anymore? And because we have no anticipation, or we're not really rooted and grounded in the commission that Jesus gave us, and somehow this just seems too illogical or too uncomfortable to believe this way, the church goes on, oftentimes with his own strength and its own power. And we're really good about doing things on our own.